I started in 1955.
I joined the old firm when I was 20, and I think Ron would have been 26 then. He was my first supervising partner, and he soon became a man that I certainly could admire.
I joined Hungerford's in 1987. It was a very family-friendly sort of firm, very participative with their client base, and something that I aligned with pretty quickly.
The old Hungerford's firm was pretty much forced to merge with what was called Pete Marwick in those days in 1987 through a merger worldwide of a whole lot of firms.
We didn't like that mixture at all. I particularly didn't like it.
It was a takeover. And so as that dawned on us, the closer we got and the arrangements were put in place for the new management of the firm, was pretty obvious we were going to be taken over and pretty much lose control. It was pretty traumatic, to be honest. Very traumatic.
I was very uncomfortable. In particular, I was really worried about the fact that our clients in that middle market that had trusted us and had looked after us were not going to get the service, and it was going to be an awful lot more expensive.
I don't think there was a great understanding about the dynamics and the metrics around the practice that we had. It was quite a different way that we worked.
This group of partners drew a circle on the whiteboard, and they were putting in the circle all the parts that made up the firm: taxation, audit, consulting, so on. Private business, I noticed, was right on the outside of the ring, as though if you got a discus thrower, that bit would fly off into the heavens. And I knew by then, from my colleague Tim Jonas, that the feedback that was coming through from some of the partners, all the partners actually, that had gone in from Hungerford's Melbourne, was one of great unhappiness.
They were the worst years of my working life. I was most unhappy, and I had discussions with my wife that I might break away and form my own firm.
At the same time, the big recession of the late 80s and early 90s hit, and it got very, very difficult. We couldn't grow. The brand was seen as big corporate, and here were we trying to participate in the middle market and smaller end of the market. We just couldn't win any work.
That culture, the whole way of doing things, and what gave you real satisfaction was missing. So an opportunity arose in that meeting for me to put up my hand and say, looks to me that you don't really want private business. Would you allow me to take it out?
I could have hugged him at the time and kissed him, to be honest.
I walked out with the biggest smile on my face.
Hooray. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah, so that's when the firm was conceived, you might say.
I didn't have a doubt, but I wouldn't be being honest if I didn't say I was pretty concerned when I realised just how many people now were going to be dependent on the decision that we'd taken.
The firm was branded Pitcher Partners because we really had 7 weeks to come up with a name. Ron was well known around town, and it was a great name.